Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. I'm Alexander Spainghaus, the Territory Manager at Virtuozzo, and I'm excited to have you here today. Along with me is Padovani, our Senior Sales Engineer, who will showcase our platform in action also during a quick short live demo today. We will talk about Virtuozzo hybrid infrastructure, our VMware alternative designed to make cloud management simpler, faster, and more affordable, whatever you are a cloud service provider or an enterprise looking for a better way forward. You'll leave this session with a clear insight and actionable steps. Please feel free to, like already mentioned, to ask anything in the Q&A box, and we'll address them at the end. Let's get started. So a quick overview is, okay, we are here. So at Virtuozzo, our mission is simple: to make cloud solutions accessible, affordable, and easy to manage for everyone. Whether you are a cloud service provider, a small, medium enterprise, you create your own software, we help everyone. We are not just about cutting costs, maximizing efficiency, and empowering business. We see Virtuozzo as the alternative cloud platform leader. Our software powers the alternative cloud for the modern economy, making it for everyone easy, accessible, and affordable. So a bit about our history, who we are, where we came from. Virtuozzo is not the biggest name on the market, but I think with what we will show you is we are quite a long time already on the market, and you probably used our service before without knowing. So in 2000, the first commercial container virtualization happened with SVSoft Parallels. Then the software-defined storage in 2010. We had the Gelastic, so our platform as a service solution created in 2011. From that on, our hyper-converged infrastructure moved and was developed. Since 2016, you can find us under the name Virtuozzo. And since 2019, we are focusing more and more on our main product, so Virtuozzo hybrid infrastructure, without forgetting also our platform as a service. So that's where we are currently. We're open for the channel. That's our main focus also to really work with the channel to grow and help everyone who we can. Thank you. So a quick overview. We are a European company. That's quite often the first question. Where is our head? So we are based in Switzerland and in the UK, which is 100% GDPR compliant. We have a completely software stack. So we enable infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and X as a service. So basically any as a service you can create with us, whatever you want. The alternative to VMware, and I think that's easy to say, but hard to really be. So we are very good in giving you something which can be an alternative. We are not saying that we are one-to-one VMware, but we definitely enable companies to see a bigger value in OpenStack. With a very fast time to market, very easy to use, and the lowest TCO probably possible to achieve. Since 24 years already, as you saw, we have data center enablement experience, 700 data center environments all over the world. And what is very important is the 157 patents we have. So it's not only OpenStack, but it's really our solution, which we created. We made OpenStack as simply as possible. Some names, because everyone wants to know some names. One of the bigger ones are, of course, the Ionos Group. Then we have in the enterprise and business unit, Tata Motors, Acronis, Chainstack, and cloud service providers are Cloud DT Cloud, GoDaddy, Hedora. So there are many more. So if you want to have specific in your region names, we will be more than happy to share it in a separate meeting. All right, thank you. So why migrating from VMware? What's all about it? I think everyone knows what happened a couple of months ago, where VMware had a decision. So the bundles and massive price increases are making most of the managed service providers, cloud service providers, businesses quite a hard time. It's not that easy to work with VMware in these days. So mandatory subscription licenses, complex subscription or complex pricing, ejected from VCPP, so you need to buy from a competitor now, uncertain future. Everyone knows it. So if you have experience, feel free also to share it in the Q&A. We are more than happy to have a look what you had experience with VMware, and let's see it afterwards. So how can we say directly where our difference is? And I think, as you already are aware, VMware has different types of software. So we have the Cloud Director, vSphere, NSX, Chargeback, vSAN, and many, many more. What we do is put everything in one. With one license, you have the option between pay as you go, so you can start basically from scratch without really investing a lot of money upfront, or you can go for an annual subscription with us, which is, first of all, lower TCO than VMware and more flexible, and everything is in one solution. So you don't need to worry about now having this or that. We give you everything in one go, including support, migration guides, and I think Alicia will talk a bit more about it in a second. So you get everything in one go with us. And here's what is included. So we have the S3 storage, which is compatible storage. It's our own storage. It's not Ceph. We have the database automation, virtual servers, Kubernetes, backup and disaster recovery, which is, let's say, a basic one, but we of course are open to work with third parties. So if it's not enough, you can always choose a different solution. DevOps, so our platform as a service, WordPress as a service, basically pretty much everything in one stack, which you can get from our side.
Yeah, thank you very much, Alexander, for this introduction.
Thank you.
I really like the manner we presented ourselves as, and as Alexander said, is really true that you can get an affordable platform. So everything that you see here, from the infrastructure as a service with the S3 storage, with the Kubernetes, and then you do have also and on top of that, everything in regards of the platform as a service is not just about the price. It's not just reducing the price. It's not just because VMware has this huge increase in their license. It's also mainly because of the technology, because we are offering you um, a very high-end technology, all included, that you can have. And this is, as you have understood from what Alexander explained up to now, from our history in developing the full product and providing to our customers a unique product that is based on open source technology. So we do base our Virtuozzo hybrid infrastructure on the OpenStack, starting from the KVM for the hypervisor part. So um, Alexander, also I highlighted to you 157 patents. This is our number in terms of development, in terms of knowing who we are and what we do in the backend to provide you the best product in the market for the OpenStack, for an easy way of managing the OpenStack. You don't have to be scared about the OpenStack anymore, because we are keeping out of the product all the complexity of the OpenStack. You do not need to have skilled people for this OpenStack product, because we are keeping it easy. This is where you can have also this lower TCO, not only in the terms of the license, of course, in the terms also of what it is included in our license, as Alexander explained you before, with all the services and the features included by default in our stack. And then also because you don't need to have specific people that are skilled and need just to take care of this platform all the time for the OpenStack part because we are doing this part for you. We do have many different services, we do have many different features all included in our stack. So whenever you get our product, the Virtuoso Hybrid Infrastructure, you get everything included. Everything in regards of the infrastructure as a service so that you can create your own business, your own virtualization platform, whatever you would be a service provider or an enterprise to have your own public cloud to offer services or your private cloud to use the features inside to create VMs, to have the load balancers, to have VPN as a service, advanced network features because we do have software defined network inside. We do have the orchestration and the multi-tenancy based on the OpenStack that are creating different virtual data center where the environment are fully isolated and where you can have your own resources defined. You do have the ability to enable Kubernetes as a service. This is modern cloud. So whenever you think about a virtualization platform is not just about VMs, it's not just about virtualizing. This is the simple KVM hypervisor that we do have underneath. We do offer much more on top of that with the orchestration, with the OpenStack, with the Kubernetes as a service that are just there to help ITs to create the Kubernetes clusters through a wizard, very easy, and then also to offer additional services. Like, for example, if you do use the Virtuoso storage, and as you have seen and you have noticed probably in our timeline, we developed very like 10 years ago, the Virtuoso storage really to have this maximum efficiency for the hyperconvergent infrastructure so that you can actually use all the resources on your servers to provide different type of services, not only the compute part, but also the S3 storage. So whenever you're using internal disk and you do have our Virtuoso storage, the software-defined storage layer, you can use the S3 storage for your cluster inside your cluster at the same time as for the compute. We do have also the backup. So we started implemented last year in 2024 these new features that is also included in the license that is about the backup as a service inside the platform, meaning that is dedicated only to perform backup of the VMs, of the volumes of the VMs inside our platform to provide a first level of protection inside this platform. Everything that you see here as a service, you can manage through the admin panel. So whenever you create your cluster, you do have the admin panel, and the admin panel is really dedicated. It's a graphical interface. We show you in the demo that we do have this easy, clear graphical interface where you can set up your infrastructure, you create your cluster, you manage the full cluster through this admin panel. And then eventually, for service provider or for enterprise that need to separate, for example, different environment for different purpose or different department or different units, you can also use the service panel, which is dedicated for the multi-tenancy. So you create virtual data center, and then you do have the ability through the service panel to manage those virtual data centers so that you have an easy way to offer services in case of cloud service provider and managed service provider, but also for the private usage, because then you can let your end users, the employees using this platform, because actually you're just restricting them to create VMs and to use different features that then they can do instead of bothering you from the admin point of view, from the IT to do that. Because we are based on the OpenStack, even if we code and we do have our own code for everything, we provide you this unique ISO for the Virtuoso hybrid infrastructure, we are based on the OpenStack, and this is where is our strengths because we are 100% compatible with OpenStack APIs. This is very important to understand how we work in the OpenStack and also how you can interact with our product for automation, Terraform, Ansible, for everything in regards of also the billing part or knowing the metering of everything, you can use the API as well. We are very flexible in terms of deployment option. So, as I said before, we do have many manner of deploying because we can use internal storage, we can use external storage as well, and we can create different typology of clusters that we can manage through this admin panel. So in the same cluster, what we do have is the ability to have only compute. So if you do have only these VMs part that you need or the um, Kubernetes and so on. So maybe you just want to have very uh, much high compute servers where you do have the ability to put all the VMs, the Kubernetes, and so on with a little storage that could be inside so that you do add compute with storage so that you can have those servers with with the disks inside to provide the storage for this compute part, but also you can provide only storage because in hyperconverged manner, we can have those clusters that are created just for the S3. So if you do have high quantities of data, and I will show you in a later slide about our capability for the S3 because it's very important to understand that we do have this software-defined layer that are combining, pulling together all the disks and the storage resources of the cluster, and then you can offer also additional services. And you can combine the two into one single cluster, where you do have this compute with storage, where you do have all the features about the compute part, where you do have all the features about the storage as well. So, in terms of the architecture that we're starting from physical servers. The minimum number of servers that we do need to create a Virtuoso hybrid infrastructure cluster is 3 nodes. Why is that? Because of the high availability that we do have inside the cluster. So think about having always available in your cluster the admin interface, so the control plane, which is not separated, it's part of the installation inside the free servers. The high availability of the VMs that are automatically booted, moved to other hosts whenever there is a failure of a host. So, in order to maintain this high availability inside the cluster, we need as a minimum number 3 nodes so that we can guarantee that even in case of failure of one of the nodes, so we do have the ability to have business continuity of the workloads inside this cluster. For service provider, what we do prefer is to start with 5 nodes. This is for redundancy and also for resiliency because whenever we do have 5 nodes, we can guarantee that even in case there's 2 nodes failing, we still have enough resources and metadata of the VMs to have high availability, so to have business continuity of the workloads inside this cluster. Everything is automated. What we try to do is to automate at the maximum level inside the software in order to have this software very easy to be managed from your side. So we are starting from those physical servers. In the physical servers, we can have the disks inside. so that within those storage, we do have the software-defined storage layer with the Virtuoso storage that can create a different storage policy, can create and use different redundancy method. We do have replication, we do have erasure coding. We can combine replication and erasure coding both at the same time in the same cluster, distributing the different type of disk, because we do have the ability also to have different tiering, so that you can use also different type of disk from NVMe to SSD or spinning disk as well. Whenever you're using our software-defined storage layer, you do have also the ability to have the S3 as a service, that is a storage service on top of this. Now, whenever you do have this cluster that is created as a pool of shared resources that we manage in Virtuoso Hybrid Infrastructure, from an orchestration point of view, from the open stack, creating also the multi-tenancy, which is built in, so that in case you are offering this cluster to end users, you can have different virtual data center fully separated, where the tenant, the end user, can connect and use and consume services directly from their self-service portal. We do use very often also enterprise using our platform in this multi-tenant manner, just to create different environment for testing, lab purpose, for production separately, or to have different people accessing different part of the cluster but still managed from one single admin panel. Now, because what we do have currently is was always based on this software-defined storage, because we were coming from this manner of managing the storage, maximizing the hardware efficiency, and so on. We now have also the ability to support a third-party external storage. So this means that we cannot attach to the platform external storage. This is very important again to provide you the maximum of the flexibility to use our software, Virtuoso Hybrid Infrastructure, in your existing hardware as well, because we do know that you can have hyperconverged architecture, but you can also have the third party architecture, where you do have the compute part and the external storage, so the storage part separated. So this is where we can support also the external storage. We started from the NFS as universally supported. We added the iSCSI, it is now universally supported through the Cinder drivers. And we are now in the phase of supporting all the fiber channel. Um, it is just a matter of validation, and since last year we are validating more and more brand and different architecture type to be used in our infrastructure. Now, in order to use our infrastructure, most of the time, many customers are asking us about the migration. Migration is never easy, is pretty complex, is very delicate phase where you need to be very careful in migrating the workloads from the existing platform to Virtuoso. This is why in the last year we are really added a lot of value and people to our migration tool, and get a maximum and very high expertise in this domain, so that we can help you in planning, in making the analysis of what you need to migrate, what are the workload, how to migrate. We can help you also in providing you this dry run and blueprint, so that we can help you with providing the different type of tools, how to use them, different type of guides. And then you can have a different approach, like having training session, reading the instruction, reading just the documentation, do at your own pace, because we do know that sometimes you don't want to move all the workloads right now, but little by little in the coming months and so on. But We are here to support you through the full journey. You are not alone. We are here. So Virtuoso has a very high level tech company where we do have a lot of engineer, we do have a lot of expertise, and we can help you in any phase of your project in adopting Virtuoso as an alternative to VMware, or to be side by side with VMware just to have an alternative to that platform. So, this is important to understand that we are here for you. We can provide services, we can guide you, we can help you and support you at any time. We do have different type for migration. You can see here VMware because, of course, as you can imagine, this is the platform from where we are migrating the most, but this is also available for other platforms as well. We do have two manner of doing that is for word migration and code migration. All the tools, the four tools that you see here are third-party tools for migrating and converting. So what does that mean? That Coriolis, Cloudania, Acronis, Hystux can see whatever it is in VMware, and then during uh, the life of the VM, because the VM is still up and running, and VMware, this tool is helping into transferring, converting the data into the Virtuoso platform, and then the only downtime would be when you switch it off in VMware and you boot in Virtuoso, and that's it. While we do also have our own tool based on VirtV2V, where we can provide cold migration. This means that it requires a bit more of a downtime because you need to switch off the VM in the VMware environment, and with our tool, you can migrate it to the Virtuoso platform with converting the data into Virtuoso format. But again, this is something that we can help you in planning, making the dry run, and providing migration services as well. What is important to also highlight is the ability for us to provide not only infrastructure as a service. Here, what you can see is everything in regards of the high performance of our S3. So, as we have seen in the architecture part and the deployment part, whenever you use the Virtuoso layer for the software-defined storage, the Virtuoso storage, which is our own code, it is not safe at all. It is just our own development where we are able to provide different tiers, different redundancy method inside, and the S3 as a service. This is important because nowadays we see this shift in having large amount of data. And those large amount of data, above all for analytics, for AI, for ML frameworks, and so on, need to be stored somewhere. Most of the time, the de facto was Amazon, but nowadays it's pretty difficult for the cost because we are talking about petabyte of data, and also for the data sovereignty, because in order to have the data and to be sure that those data are not leaving the country, we need to be sure that are securely stored in a specific data center. And this is where you can use also a deployment based just on the storage part to get the high performance Virtuoso S3 storage, so that whenever you use the software defined storage, is all about using our technology for the block storage, the file storage, in case also for and object storage as well, where we do have multiple features included already. Now, in terms of the partnership and all the ecosystem that we do have. It is important to understand that we are working at the OpenStack level. So we do have many different manner to have this third-party tool integrated in our platform. It is important because sometimes you may need to have a more enterprise level backup solution. So instead of using our backup that is fully integrated in our platform, you can use a more advanced backup solution based, for example, on Acronis or on Commvault or Storeware, and this is assuring you different type of backup schedule and restore. In case you may need also disaster recovery, this is again something that you can use within the integration with third-party tool, like for example the Acronis part, the Storeware, the Coriolis, where you can have those different cluster, different availability zone, and you can have one cluster as a primary and the second one as a secondary cluster for it. Wherever it is you want to use those integration, it is at OpenStack level. So as I said, we are based on OpenStack. We are 100% compatible with the OpenStack APIs, and the most important thing is that we will remain. So you don't have to worry about having right now, for example, if you want to have a cloud management platform, for example, on top of it. So for example the billing part, if you are a service provider, so maybe you want to have everything automated also for the billing part. This is something that we can provide within our APIs. You can choose to have your own platform and create the APIs for your own platform. You can have also and use those platforms like WHMCS or OZ, Hostbill, Flayo, and so on, so that actually you do have the ability to create and have your fully automation around your business for service provider while we are providing all the APIs. And as I was mentioning, it is important also to say that we would remain 100% compatible to the OpenStack. This is our philosophy, to stay compliant with the open source and the OpenStack part. So whenever you would have your own development for the CLI part or the APIs part, you can be sure that this would not be changed while we are evolving our software as well. We do have also Vertica for the data analytics that can be easily integrated in every kind of deployment that they can have, even in the Kubernetes one, because we do support Kubernetes. So in case of data analytics, you can also use Vertica in Kubernetes inside our platform to deploy Vertica. And we do have the storage. We have Pure Storage that was the really first external storage that we do have validated for all the usage that you can have with Pure Storage. Just bear in mind that whenever we are talking about external storage, this is something that you can use, attach for the compute part, and then you do have the volumes of the VMs on this external storage, and the external storage would maintain all the features that are available inside this external storage, because we do not touch, we do not manage at all the way the external storage is working. Whatever we do is just use these Cinder drivers to attach the external storage and to use this storage for the volume of the VMs. In case of interest for the VDI, one of the smoothest integration that we do have and we are working with for many years is RioStream for the VDI part. Now, I think it's now time to show you a little bit of the platform. I think it could be nice for you to see how it is. So we do have two interfaces. One interface is the admin interface. This is what you are seeing right now in the screen. The admin interface is for the admin to manage the full cluster. So it's about seeing the infrastructure. We do have the infrastructure. As you can see, we do have this minimum of 3 nodes. Those are the minimum number for the high availability, so to guarantee business continuity for the workloads and also for the control plane. We do have the services running on all the nodes. So this is important to understand because it means that we do not need to have specific nodes just for the control plane and the management of the platform. It is very easy to deploy our solution. It is a wizard, so you can also try and download from our website the Virtuoso hybrid infrastructure. It is an ISO that you can install node by node, and whenever you start the installation one node after the other, then you can add another node here. So the connect node is again another procedure to make it more automatic and have those installation as smooth as possible. And the software is taking care of creating the storage cluster and the compute cluster. So whenever you create this cluster with different nodes and the different disk that you do have inside, and in this case is in hyperconverged mode. In the compute part, we do have the ability to see all the resources of the cluster, where I do see whatever is available and all the nodes that I have. Of course, I can manage the virtual machine. I do have the ability to create a virtual machine, to set the images, to set the size of it, and so on. We do have a software-defined network layer, which is enabling to create different virtual private network fully isolated in each of the tenant environment. We do have security groups that are firewall rules to protect the network interface. We do have the floating IPs, the routers, virtual routers, load balancers, and VPN, which are all included in our product built in and also in our license as well. We do have the ability to see the different volumes and to create different storage policies. So whenever you are using our software, you created the storage policy on top of the disk. So choosing different type of tier, the different failure domain, and the redundancy method. But you can also use external storage and create many other different storage policy for your external storage as well. Um, in terms of the storage services, so this is where you do have as a separate menu whenever you use internal disk, the S3 as a service, so that you do have the ability to use different node if you want for compute, which are the part more for the VMs and Kubernetes, while for the storage part you can create here something different. Or if you want, you can combine the two, have everything on the same cluster to maximize the usage of your hardware. But you can also combine, as we have seen in the slide, the fact that you do have only compute, only storage, or more nodes dedicated to the storage and other node in the same cluster more dedicated to the compute part, so that you do have the compute part within some storage inside, and then you do have maybe nodes that have older nodes in terms of compute and power, or maybe just less expensive, but with much more disk inside for the S3 and so on. So this is where then you can set the users, the buckets, and also create the storage replication. So it is a geo replication based on the S3 that you can have over another data center. Uh, in the settings part, this is really where you can see the multi-tenancy. Whenever we are talking about the multi-tenancy inside the OpenStack part, we are talking about creation of domain end project. Every project is that virtual data center that you have seen in the slide. It is fully isolated wherever you do have all your resources dedicated for that. But this is software quotas based, so you can change at any time. And you do have the ability to create a different type of project. Inside the creation of the project, you can select the quantities of VCP, RAM, storage policy, and which kind of features, services you want this tenant to use. And then this is the fully isolated virtual data center where then people can connect to create their VMs, uh, to use all the features that we do have inside. In terms of the update, again, is something that we have automated. So this is to keep it easy. What does that mean? Whenever you need to update to a newer version, you would have this screen. You just click on the button, update the node. And this is fully automated in terms that we are taking care of this update. It's a rolling update in the cluster, uh, with the guarantee of zero downtime for the workloads, because we are managing the fact that we are migrating, evacuating those workloads from the node that we are updating to the other nodes, and then this rolling update to keep all the workloads, and it is fully transparent for the end users. As well as when you connect a new node, this is very easy because our cluster is really built to scale out easily. It means that you can start with free, and then you need to, because you have more customers, more workloads, and then you need another node. The only thing that you need to do is just add in this node, connect the node, and the orchestration of the resources would do the job to create again and to add those resources to the cluster, and then have the redistribution of the resources and in the cluster, and the systems in the clusters as well. We do have then this, whenever we do have in the project, as you can see, I have my own project, and this is where I am landing when I have my own space. This is my own virtual data center. I'm now connecting in what we call the service panel. Self-service panel is really for the multi-tenancy. It's not just for service provider. As I said, we do see many enterprise using this because it could be very handy to separate different environment for testing, for production, or for different department, for different unit, for different usage. I have just a subset of resources that are for me. Those are the software quotas that are defined for my project. I do have the ability to create virtual machine. Everything here again is very simple, is clear, is easy to use, and in case the service provider is also easy to consume, so that people, the tenant, the end user, can consume more and more services from you, where you can just select the image from a list. You need to specify the volume from a different storage policy. And then you do have the ability to select the flavor. So it is again another list that is created for the size of the VM, so that nothing is messed up in this customer's environment, and also for the network interfaces. Whenever we do have the ability to select full public, so where you do provide full access to the public, but also within our platform, you do have built-in software-defined network where we do have virtual routing, isolation between the tenants, and people can have their own private network wherever they want to stay private. So we are offering different services for the image, for the volume, for the network part, whenever they want to create a different fully isolated environment, the routers to connect from uh, private to public, floating IP, security group, load balancers is included as well. The VPN as a service is included as well for the site-to-site connection, the backup plan, where I do have the ability to create a backup of my volume inside this platform as well. And then on top of that, Kubernetes. Kubernetes is very easy to create. Here is again another wizard where just you need to select the Kubernetes version. If you do want the high availability, the size of the master node, the size of the default worker group, which storage, persistent storage you want to use, and that's it. So we do have the whole automation in the background to create the Kubernetes clusters inside this VM, inside this environment. And from this same environment in multi-tenancy, end users can also manage the S3 storage. So if you use hyperconverged architecture, you can also enable the S3 storage for the end users to use and create their own bucket so that they can have their own key access to this bucket and use the S3 storage inside the platform. So I hope that that was a very quick overview of whatever we do have inside our product. Again, it is based on open source product. Our hypervisor is Virtuozzo KVM. In case you use internal storage, we do have the Virtuoso storage as a software-defined storage layer, but you can also use the external storage. We do offer this flexibility to have iSCSI, Fiber Channel, NFS as well. On the OpenStack level, which is on which we are based, and you can base also the CLI, the API, 100% compatible, and other integration with other software tools inside the platform. It is the orchestration, it is the multi-tenancy, is the fact that you can easily manage all the full cluster from one single admin panel that can have the full configuration and setup. About the monitoring, it is based on Prometheus, and we do have Grafana dashboard as well. I show you very quickly I have an overview of all the features and services that you do see here also in the demo. Of course, if you're more interested, just contact us through Hermitage. We are here to show you and discuss more about your specific needs and use case and the solution that we can propose to you, of course. So I think that's it. We are covered a lot. I hope that you are still with us. If you do have any questions, please ask. This is very good, and thanks for Hermitage to let us explaining and have all this session. And it's very nice to have live Q&A. So we are here.
Thanks, Alicia. Thanks, Alexander. So it was mentioned just a second ago. Now it's questions and answers time. So please type in those questions in the question box. And I believe we have a couple of questions already lined up. So Alicia and Alexander, if you may take over and answer to those questions now. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, first question. I think that can be answered by both, but maybe Alicia, you want. So does Virtuoso support Veeam backup and restore?
So at the moment, no. Veeam, this is because Veeam cannot support the OpenStack. As I was mentioning during the presentation, everything for us is based on the OpenStack. Every integration you might want to have in terms of tools is about the Veeam, is about the OpenStack part. Now, Veeam is now trying to have it in their portfolio to have the OpenStack supports. I think that because of the changes and because Veeam is now trying to open more and not be so based only and uniquely on VMware, so the VMware Vim together. So they announce, and we are partnered with Vim to have also the OpenStack supported as well inside Vim.
So it's just a matter of time, but it should happen. We don't know exactly when, but the partnership is there and we are working on it. Okay, one more question. How does Virtuozzo ensure that its platform stays competitive and future-proof? So what's our plan for the future? And maybe Alicia, you want, or should I?
Well, there's different level, I would say. I would say that is both of us, right? From the
Yeah.
technical point of view, of course, we are always making changes in the platform, meaning that we are looking at the market. We are above all with our customers, so we listen carefully. We are hearing you and we are working with you. This is very important to understand that Virtuozzo is not far away, is we are just here and we want to work for you and with you. So this is important because then also for new features, for any enhancement is something that you can also influence our roadmap. There's a lot in our roadmap right now. Unfortunately, it is not yet the time to share. There is a lot of in our plates at the moment. So I think that in within the end of this quarter, we can also provide more insights about the roadmap itself. But for sure, there's many features that we are thinking not only to be one-to-one with VMware, but also for our customers. Our focus are you, our customers.
Correct. And thank you for that. And that's also every time we are talking to someone and there are features which we might be missing, because that's, of course, VMware and the size is different, but we definitely listen to every single customer and we put it in front of our product management team. They listen to it, and if it really fits the need, then we will implement it. There is 2/3 of our company, which is around 300 people, working daily on our product. So we are, I wouldn't say we are a sales-focused company. We are really a product-focused company to make a great product which sells itself. And that's where we are. We listen and we really want to help our customers. That's the whole goal of Virtuozzo. Okay, we have one more question. So what would be the migration path for a private PC from VMware to Virtuozzo?
So the migration we do have as I was mentioning during the presentation, different tool for the war migration or for the code migration. Then it depends on the cost and the time. That's the two factors that can influence the choice in the type of migration. We do have migration services that we can offer you. We do have also just a dry run and a little blueprint that we can offer you as well in terms of helping you in making the analysis, in making the planning, try the tools and make the first runs and migrate some VMs so that then you can migrate at your own pace, depending on the workloads, many different factors. Well, we are here to support, basically.
And from the experience, I would say that we have even net new companies who are coming to us and saying, look, we want to see the Virtuozzo hybrid infrastructure, while doing just the pure testing. They already are starting to migrate, because it's not like rocket science to do it. It's really something where, first of all, we always help, even in testing the solution, then also in providing our knowledge. The knowledge is also open for everyone on our website. So we don't take this as something which we hide and then you need to pay a lot money for it, we really are here to help. And it's not that hard. It's really something achievable even while testing the product.
Correct. You see here in this slide the free trial. So feel free to go on our website and test the solution. If you do have any problem, you can contact us. And as you can see through Hermitage as well.
Okay, so I think at the moment, no more questions coming in. Thank you so much, Alicia. Thank you so much, Alexander. What we can do next, if you have some questions or you would like to follow up with the team, you can contact Hermitage Solutions via email info@hermitage.lt. I posted the email address to the chat box, so you can find it there. And then we will connect you with Alicia, Alexander, or someone else to test, to talk more on how the solution could be integrated into your organization. So thanks again. We hope everyone enjoyed this webinar. It was really excellent to see some amazing things coming in Virtuozzo in the nearest future. We do have one more session left with VMware Alternatives webinar, so we hope to see you there again. And as for today, thank you everyone for attending and have a great day. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.